we got perfect 10 students here, and just one boy, Robert, and he said, emailed me, he said he's going to miss today's class and got something to do. And yes, I will send him the radio, recording for review for him to learn. And there is a story, yeah, for today. How many? I think some of you you learn about, or you learned the Tai Chi, or some like a Kung Fu, or some like Qigong in China from the master, or you learn some stuff like that. And my master, Tai Chi master, is very famous, and Henry and I, we learn things from him, and we're doing practices with him, but not recent. Now it's a stay home. We play, we practice ourselves. And there's a very famous story for the other other master. It says his student, at first time he got a lot of students, because students heard he's famous and come to his lecture and practice with him. And like hundreds is the big area, to do that, like a give lecture, let's start, very exciting. And then he asked people, that very basic for the Qigong or for the Tai Chi, to still standing like a pole, we call tree trunk standing, right? You heard about that, tree trunk standing. I mean, you stand there and with your spine totally, totally straight, and a relaxed shoulder, a relaxed elbow, something like that, tree trunk, and you stand there, right? You stand there and manage to feel your breathing, something like that. And during the time, you always adjust and feel if anything, keep balanced, because when you for a couple of minutes, you will become, try to do something, automatically not balanced, and check everything, just stand there. It's called tree trunk, right? Tree trunk. And okay, he asked the students to do that together with him for how long? For 3 months. 3 months. And of course, students become less and less, and many students just asked, what I'm learning here, what we are going to learn, do some movements, teach some movements, please. Okay, if don't, okay, probably they didn't say, respect to master. They left. Okay, great. Of course, less and less students. And eventually, in 3 months, one student left. And these students, of course, later become, kind of a master and a very good students. And the master talked and said, yeah, I choose students like that. So see if they have this kind of we see the heart or mind things. If they don't want to come, they want to go, okay, go. And so tree trunk there for 3 months and got one very good students. Anyway, I think it's time. I want to share this story, and in our calligraphy class, kind of, the meditation thing, and kind of something related to the, you know, everything Zen thing, or any kind of. I'm curious. Now it's the third month. I'm curious. In 3 months, I mean, eventually I will be here. I will be here, even one student. But I'm curious who is going to be the last one. Anyway, I'm just share this story. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, we still have a very good I mean, size for our class, and actually smaller the better. Yeah, so now it's 10. It's perfect size. So when I taught in college, if you know this language class or anything like that, if that's over 12, over 15, we are required to I mean, divided to, you know, 2 classes for the better teaching, better teacher activities. Anyway, okay, so today we are going to learn 2 more characters. First, let's do this xiang, the fragrant. Can you see my cursor? Yes. So this basically, oh, I see. Change the scene. Okay, now can you see the cursors? Okay. Basically like a two parts of that. Bottom one and top one and the bottom one. The bottom one is kind of familiar, right? Hey, yeah. Lots of you knocked the head. Yeah. You remembered it. Yeah. But I'm not asking you to remember really. I mean, how to just immediately, you know, how to write it. That's not the purpose. But it's good thing to. I mean, looks familiar at least. That's good. Yeah, that's the day. That's the word we learn. Character we learn the day or the sun. You know, from the red become squarish. That's the sun, the day. And the top one actually is like the grass of the like a baby green. Like when it grow up, it become the rice. You know, the plants. The grainy. You know, something the little grass actually is the green rice, baby rice green. So like every day, very basic for living. Every day when you know you can see the rice is healthy and everything, you can smell it. I'm bad, it's not perfume. So this is very basic of you know, aroma thing. So we call this xiang. That's a good smelling. So also be just help you to remember. Explain the 2 parts of the meaning for formed these characters. So the grass, rice grass on top of the like every day, everything thinking. So 2 parts of them. So this character also means like aroma from food, like table of the food. You say, oh, this food is so good. You say, smells so good. It's xiang. And also definitely flower. And so I'm going to write it. And also, so dip my brush in the water thoroughly, and then get rid of the extra water. So otherwise, dilute your ink. Okay, so this also this xiang also spice, you know, the aroma from the spice, and also the incense stick. You know, the incense stick, we say, what's that? Oh, it's xiang. You know, that's the things we just call it xiang. whatever you like, the specific the smelling or not, we call that things. That things is not like not chopsticks, is shang. We call that yeah, incense stick. Okay, so now I'm write it. First, the top part, slant. To the left, we always call it slant, right? To the right, we call press, different strokes, not just different direction. And this kind of long, the horizontal. And then vertical, not all the way down, just the top part, right? Kind of a hook indicated the tendency to next stroke. And then a slant again to the left. And then a press to the right. Press always stronger than the left, the slant, right? Always a little bit stronger. And then the bottom of the sun. You can tell this vertical one on the right side, kind of stronger, actually always stronger than the left vertical. Yeah, this kind of a hook thing or a little bit longer thing just show the tendency. Sometimes, you know, people's writing, not serious hook to sell it. Actually, you know, see my one, when top part and the bottom part, you try to in the bottom part a little bit see this one. I didn't see the forest, only see the tree. This one a little bit smaller, should be a little bit, look at the sample, a little bit bigger to make it more sturdy, whole characters, right? So not just the stroke, also the composition. I will write it again. Not too big, but you know, make like a kind of this things more sturdy looking. So meanwhile, you look at the whole characters, yeah, not just the stroke you are doing. Okay, for the whole thing, like this more balanced, well, hard to say. Sometimes when you write whole pages, you know, this part good, but that part, you know, a little bit. I'm just tell you the general principles. You two parts, you want to make the balance of that. Which part a little bit bigger, and which part a little bit, you know, stronger or something like a little bit. Not very even, not very even. But like these things, if top and the bottom, you try to make it still, you know, put them together, centered. Like the thing we just learned from last class, the T, remember I said like the 108 for the longevity. This is a character for T, right? Yeah, for T. When we do the walking style and the cursive style, I saw lots of students. They did very good. They did very good. You every people of you, this time, I mean, for the tea, they're very good. I don't know why. Probably you like this word, and but look at this this character. It's kind of centered things, because I said this is a wood. This is a wood. So like a tree word, kind of balanced and the centered. When we do walking style, a little bit like we say shows the tendency or things like people do that, right? I've got kind of this is stronger and it become, this is a little bit weak and tend to be like that, right? This kind of things. Yeah, it's beautiful. But remember, try to keep this bottom, the wood one, the grass top, and the wood underneath. Try to do this one, not too, screwed, not too screwed. Still, those two are centered, tree trunk thing, like the Kung Fu teacher always tell you, do not, lean over to, looks not very sturdy, like tree trunk thing. So those two parts do not screwed, too much. You can do something like for this character, this one and this one, some gesture there are already, not the left hand and the right hand, just flip, even not like that. Some, some gesture there are already, but keep the whole things still, a little bit centered, not too, screwed. Thing like that. Yeah, that's the one point. Of course, different character, a little bit different, but there is a point of the, centered things, looking, I mean, sturdy looking. So that's one of the characters. Okay, let's continue to do this smelling good thing. Flower is smells good, and everything, food smells good. So this is a walking style of the smells good and the fragrant and aromatic. Okay, I changed the, look at this, the sample. We're still in the okay, sample, look at this walking style. So the top are almost the same, the slant and the less pressing, walking and the cursive style. So horizontal one, can you see my cursor? Yes, horizontal one and the vertical one, right? And the slant one, but very quick for this right hand side, the press one. The press actually not like gradually lifting, not for that. Lots of time when people write right hand side, the press become the big dot, on the right hand side. I mean, this press when we do standard writing, right? Standard style. But when it become walking or cursive style, it's normally become, lots of people do like that. So just a press without gradually lifting, understand, for the quicker doing. And this, a little bit like a hookery thing, hook thing, not the hook, just for the tendency of ready for next stroke. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I like the question. Emily, you asked. See, I don't see there's the the logic for it. Very good, very good. Yeah, that's the only thing in the calligraphy writing to like draw our attention, not really thinking, very exhausting thinking, but just to draw attention. So find some logic there, and we'll find the connection for that, and to do it better, especially walking style and the cursive style. So back to see the sample again for this one, the sample one. So after the big dots, and then the sun, the date, right? The cursive style. Okay, so vertical and horizontal, vertical, without sealing that, just back to the center to do the, the center sun thing, sun image thing, to back to that very little. Okay, that's basically the same, and the sun we learned already. Put them together. So this the bottom and the top one and the bottom one together. So I didn't change the screen, sorry. So slant and horizontal, vertical, slant, big dot, connect with the sun. Back to the center for the sun one. So that's the walking style.
You need to mute yourself. Mute yourself, please. Victoria, okay, also, I can't see anything you're doing.
Okay, also you need to pin the speaker's view. And so this is the a little bit different, right, for the walking style. Yeah, the sun part we done already. Okay, let's look at the cursive style. This cursive style is very interesting though. I didn't get it. Where did you put?
I think I had it later because it was
right. Not because. Just tell me where is it.
Okay.
Open it individually. Okay, look at this one. This one is totally different from the walking from the standard. Cannot really tell, but very, you look at it from afar, you still can tell. I mean, the image shows a little bit assembled. That's very interesting. See my cursor, right? So something like the slant there, and then so very different stroke order and everything different. That's why we call the some in Chinese, they know how to write it. They know the but they need to they know the characters, but they need to learn for the form of the grass style, running style, cursive style. That's the one. But there is rows, yeah. So slant and back a little bit to the center, and try to, this one indicated the vertical something, and circle the back to do something like the nod, put a nod thing there, like the S, but on this vertical thing, S. So this small tail indicated the tendons for the last thing. So everything underneath just the 2 dots here, and those 2 dots with the tendency shows like talk together, taking care together. So those 2 dots, and put these 2 dots, the whole shape underneath a little bit, bigger than the bottom one, make the whole thing like the pyramid shape for sturdy looking. Okay, now I'm going to do that. So this totally, you remember the kind of image of this perfume thing, smell good thing, the xiang, sounds xiang, and don't have to remember, follow the stroke by stroke. This is different. Okay, so slant and back to the center to make the horizontal one, and the circle to the center to make the like S1, and 2 dots touch each other like this position. Okay, the whole thing, this part of course much larger, and those 2 like the 1/3, 1/5 or 1/4 percentage of the whole height, and but the whole character keep the same, and this not just apart, they talk to each other, and they make kind of the things like the spread for the whole character, sturdy looking, but they have some connections, talk to each other. And keep the center things, the vertical things, yeah, still kind of the vertical position. And back to the vertical one, and the circle for the knot, and the 2 dots. It's very interesting. It's a beautiful image. And the way to write it, very kind of, I mean, people will know it. And this is different from the other standard and the walking, but they have their own role. And people, if they know calligraphy, if they are calligrapher, definitely, if you write, I explained this way, it's recognizable. Mm-hmm. Do not think this is too simple, to make this way. So you try to look at the sample, and then, we say to read the sample, the copybook when you do calligraphy. What's the read? There is no content. So read the sample. There's no content. There is. So try to see, oh, what's the first stroke? And then what's the next? Oh, next, all of them together. And you think about what's your rhythm, what stands for what? What's your rhythm of that for doing that? Okay, some people want to say the walking style again. I can do that. Walking style is still a little bit more connection from the standard. Where is my? No, cannot find the regular one if this shows. So I just directly do that, clicking on that.
Close that.
Right. I just directly click on that. It's fine. Yeah. Okay.
No, you cannot. It's
yes,
not showing there.
It's showing.
You have to
close this one. I'm working on that. Okay. So not in the same folder.
It's in the same folder.
Okay. This is the walking style. Do slant and with less press. Sorry, it didn't change the scene. Basically, a little bit more connection, and this become the dot, and then the sun thing we learned actually already. Instead of stroke by stroke do that, seal that, doing that, so we do like a kind of the one stroke thing. Do that. Okay, let's do the next one. Look at the simple, the sample. The other character we are going to learn today is this is a very good character for the quiet. This called in Chinese pronounced as Jing. Quiet, still, calm. So basically, look at that, you can tell this is like two parts, right? Left and the right. So when I say to read the sample, read the copybook, you try to think about the two parts and almost the same size, but all normally right-hand side, see the dominant, the very last stroke, vertical, a little bit, stronger. And the right part a little bit stronger. You need to make a little bit, not perfect even to two parts. And which horizontal one match the which horizontal one, you need to, that's the content you need to read after you're grinding the ink, and you read this kind of things of the sample. And when you doing the right, you can look at it again. So now I'm doing that. This is very, very hard though, because lots of horizontal one and the vertical one, and they need to be balanced, but not very stiff, not perfect parallel, and but need to be centered and balanced. So of course, left to the right. So 1, 2, not exactly the same length, and the vertical stronger than the horizontal. And the third one, this one long. And when you do the horizontal one, try not to be very stiff. Sometimes you do a little bit left to right, a little bit up, a little bit up. Instead of down normally. And this is actually kind of the moon. Remember we learned the moon and the sun. This is the moon thing. Look, and 2 small vertical thing. I did this part too big. This part underneath is too small, right? And the slant. Yeah, I like to do it in front of you and make the mistake, it's possibly show you in your front, So see this almost the same height of that. Press, and do a little bit, with some angle, this kind of short vertical thing. And the biggest with the hook. not beautiful. See, big head, and the bottom one too big, too small, not very beautifully balanced. Do it again. One, two, three, I mean, vertical. This part, I didn't do the vertical good. Vertical plus hook, that's the very hard stroke. Better. And also for this one, the moon thing here, look at the sample. You try to do two vertical things, kind of like hold to the center, like kind of the brackets, not that curvy, instead of the like a spread out, kind of holding. In other words, I'm showing. So I'm do kind of over. You know, the moon thing, like two horizontal, I mean, to the vertical one here, right? You try to things I'm do over, okay, a little bit like the, a little bit like that, you know, curve like that, a little bit like that. Okay, I'm doing something over, yeah. You know, a little bit like that instead of like that. Okay. Okay, that's the standard style, and let's see the walking style. This walking style strokes more connected. So for the left-hand side, and also stroke order are different, changed for easier writing, for connecting. Okay, I'm do that, try to do horizontal one, and then vertical one, the order, remember different, vertical one, and become other horizontal one, and do that, because it's a kind of the tendency of that, and the third horizontal one. And then the moon thing become, you know, less pressing, like two strokes, and one stroke indicated two horizontal one in center, and then back to the next one become like the S and then this thing, circle to the center, and then back a little bit hook, and the very last stroke. The hook is, ready for next, we're ready for next characters, right, for writing. So actually it's again, this one, then a vertical one, and then do that actually. Yeah, try to look at the two parts where connected. So after this moon, then shows this connection. Connect, and then something like that. You can do this a little bit wider. Just this is not the principle of the metal. Is plastic, just for balance, beautiful. Or a little bit, not that over, yeah. Not very still, not very quiet, a little bit messy, too messy. So you need to show very sturdy fluency with rhythm, but not in hurry things for this character, I think. Yeah, and that's why I said read the sample you want to do, and then feel it, even like in your mind image. You try to see, sometimes we have a whole bunch of story. The calligrapher, they remember what's the trace, so what's the way to go, and they write when they lie down on the bed and go to sleep. They still, without ink, without the paper, they write things on the belly. Use fingers, try to to memorize what's the trace to go, I mean the brush to go. See here on the sample got the press here. It's beautiful. So you have your own the rhythm eventually. Okay, that's the walking style. See, lots of a connection, and especially this part, the right hand part, right? Before it's like that, as if stroke by stroke, stroke by stroke, like that. So, and then it becomes this S1, this S1 indicated this thing, right? It becomes just so instead of stroke by stroke like that, become S1. And in the cursive style, lots of S. And after this S connect with this big kind of circling thing, so indicated this one. So S and then become this thing. and then center things, just some, you know, the circle one and a little bit, you know, tail indicated the tendency, and the last, the vertical thing. For the next stroke. So that's why I hook this way. Okay, to the walking style. And the cursive style, we got the experience, that's changed a lot, but still you can tell, right? From the standard style, walking style, still like left and right, but left and right normally very connected, very connected. You can tell two parts connect by like a diagonal thing. So it actually shows the tendency. You don't have to put too much power to make the very stronger for this one. This is just a connection of the left and the right, right? Left half and the right half. So let's see. The left hand side is upper part is same, and the bottom part kind of the simplify. Change the thing. Sorry. Okay, so horizontal one, and then vertical one, then a circle, and then like the number 3, but vertical thing and the connection ready for that, and the big this thing. So the right hand side become really simple. So kind of that, see these 3, the start just for the 3 for the connection from the left hand side, and that become, you know, this kind of things. Just make this not perfect rounded, you know, something with your rhythm beautifully. So left hand side, I will do it again. And this I say like number 3, but indicated, you know, some vertical thing. So make this a little bit slant and the vertical. And this is the 3rd of the horizontal one. So make this a little bit longer. So that's the 3 formed. Yeah, with your rhythm. I always say the different from vertical, I mean the cursive style, I mean from the cursive style and the standard style with less pressing. Less pressing for what? For each stroke, like the dog bone, 2 ends of that, the pause thing, less that. But there is your rhythm of the pressing a little bit of pausing, but not seriously pressing, less pressing. But there is something pausing, I mean, from your rhythm, you decide probably, you know, the couple of strokes together and make the whole stroke, and you pause there, you know, like when I do this clear, this clear, this clear, and I know this as a whole thing. So I a little bit pause here and then go, and a little bit pause here, but with not serious like dog boom head pressing. I don't do that. So a little bit, you know, to make elements with several strokes, not each stroke individually. So you have your rhythm of pausing, but not each stroke pressing, okay? And I know this is the whole thing, so I do this, and this is a little bit rhythm for that, not just, you know, to my arms do perfect, rounded thing perfect. No, not do that. So we know this come from, so do some things and end. Don't swept too long, or, you know, still, you know, powerfully grab it and lift in the air, you know, with some, then you can tell some rhythm there. And always I saw Kathy Farber's question. Always feel tight on the tip of your fingers. Grab your brush very tight so you can control it. But leave other things, your fist empty and everything's relaxed. That's why you can deliver the power from bottom of your feet and step by step, or directly to the tip of your hand. Actually, tip of your hand, you need to be very tight, but only this part tied to the brush. You can handle the brush and manage the brush freely, but not other place need to relax. Any junction you need to be relaxed. But grab this end of your fingers, tip of your fingers need to be very tight and feel that to the brush, but not very loose to grab it. That's not correct. It shows, the line shows not powerful. Okay, I assumed you are following to do the things. Any question for that? Yeah, I saw actually lots of like the progress. People do the homework and they made the progress every times. And if I saw the like the common problem, I will bring it to the class. Like I saw, sometimes the ink, how come this thing very light, is like grayish and smearing? I think probably when you dip in the water, some very detailed things, yeah, it didn't get rid of the actual water, and sometimes these detailed things. And okay, I recalled Emily, one thing shows, and it's common for the Zen writing, the sacrifice radical on the left hand side. When we write, that's also not just from Emily, yeah. This hard characters for the for Chinese, for me as well. You're right. So when we do standard, okay, I do the quick one for the structure. Remember this sacrificed the radical. So when you do the extend part, you back a little bit, and then start. Look at this junction, back a little bit. And then do that. Okay, instead of what? Instead of, look at here. Yeah, look at my writing. Instead of not backing and do things very widely, instead of do that, it's hard to, because originally, if not as radical, these things is like that. You know, things like that. So this connect that, if you do that too over, it's kind of too wide here, and not keep this vertical centered, keep this too, not centered. So actually this radical is very hard to write beautifully. So when you do, yeah, and back a little bit, just start here and then do the slant part. Yeah, we will see that. We will see that in the other word. other character like the blessing or the wishing thing. Yeah, they are concerned something to do with the sacrifice ceremony things, you know, so do that. And also for the vertical, I mean, for the handwriting of the cursive one, the stroke is different. So dot, yeah, look at my my writing here. Yeah, the dot one, and remember the horizontal one, right? Horizontal one connect the vertical one like that, right? Like that. And then, okay, the stroke not from here, actually is from here, press, pause, and then kick and shows connection. Yeah, I'm talking about this part. Yeah, that's why because Emily says, this is hard. This is hard character. It is hard for the standard. I mean, this is the trick. Back a little bit for make it more balanced and more beautiful. And also the connection of the logic thing among the strokes during the writing of the walking and the cursive. Actually, this stroke is from the up down. Yeah, look at this one. No, not correct. From here. And then connection. That. This way, yeah. Okay, let's look at the sample again. You will find. I think I bring the sample. Okay, see the sample, the walking style for the sacrifice. Yeah, look at the looks like like that. Actually, from here, press to the left, down left, and then kick. And this tendency actually with the connection of shows the tendency of next stroke. So those two actually like the flying white thing if connect more. So there is connection, even not on paper, but you know the chi connected, kick up and started to do that two things. Let's look at the cursive style, probably more shows more things. Look at that. Okay, dot and the horizontal one and the vertical one, we all did right. And actually this stroke, look at actually from down here, ready, and like you back a little bit, then go. Yeah, back a little bit and press, and then kick, and the tendency shows connection of that stroke. Yeah. So I'm talk about this radical of the sacrifice. The radical are very, you know, lots of skills here, and it's hard to make it beautifully. And you try to, there are some reasons as much as you understand it, know it, and you will have more things you can play with, and you can do more things, try. Yeah. Okay, any questions? That's from last time, some common problems, common questions about the homework. So that's why I bring it to the today's class. Okay, how are you doing? Yeah, turn off the microphone, the speaker, and yeah, say something to me to the class. Yeah.
Victoria,
Yes,
can you
Susan Mary.
can you repeat this one? I didn't get if I do this first or go down first.
The walking style of the fragrant, right?
Yeah.
In general, always the top to the bottom and the left to the right. So let's change the screen to the walking style again. Walking style doesn't change, normally doesn't change the order of the strokes that much.
Oh,
and then down, and then this one the same, but this dot and back to do the something.
Okay, got it.
So Victoria, didn't you just do the top, the horizontal one? Didn't you just do that right to left? Or did you do it left? The very top.
The same character of this?
Yeah, the very top little horizontal line.
I'm not very sure if you do.
Well, wasn't that right to left? Or was it left to right?
This one?
The top one, just the top dot.
The slant one, right?
Yeah, so that goes right to left?
Yes.
Okay.
Right to left, we call slant.
Blend.
Slant, okay. But we call to the right, we always call press, because consider different way to do that with big press. But for the to the left one, we call slant. Slant is just the sweeping, but powerful sweeping, not very quick sweeping. Yeah, without pressing.
I thought you meant, I didn't understand the distinction of the hand versus the mark. Which direction, the way the hand goes or the mark.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
Right to the left, right to left. Yeah. You doing okay, right? Do the left hand to do the right to do.
It's very hard, I will tell you.
It's hard?
Yeah, because my tendency is to want to do things the opposite direction that your hand moves.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I think something like that when you draw, when I draw or when I write the orchid, you know, something like that. But if I do right hand side, I use right hand. I'm right-handed. Yeah. You know, this kind of easier. But if towards this, yeah, I can do, you know, left hand.
Right.
Will be seems easier. That's probably your question. Yeah. And I think I don't know. In Tai Chi, they do not really use the word left or right. They use the something like the 正, like the how do I say, this kind of like the towards center or out of center. They distinguish like that, right? Yeah, like that. Yeah. So both of this or that, right? This kind of the curve, twist, or that kind of the twist. Right. They didn't really use the word of right and left. They use like this way curve or that way curve, that center thing or out thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But some things I don't have any problems. Well, I would say I have smaller problems doing some things, but some things my left hand wants to go the opposite way. But it doesn't happen all the time.
I see. I see. Actually, a very interesting. So, I will say, if I got chance, I can show you. I use my foot. You know, I use my foot. Yeah, I use my foot. So, something I didn't do that. Some people ask me why you use your foot to do that. Not on purposely to do that. Once I'm preparing something to do the performance of the larger characters for the Chinese New Year activities, and I practice some things on the watercloth, preparing that, and I throw of them to wait it dry in the air and on the floor, on the carpet, and so suddenly it's on the ground already, and I need to bend my wrist to pick it up and to the desk to write, and then I become lazy, and I just put the brush on my foot and on the ground just to write it. I say, hey, it works, and then on paper, I write the character, use both way, my hand and my foot. Interesting thing is, eventually I choose the best one is done by my foot. I think only one thing, there's no trick. Only one thing is for the larger, bigger character, one character, it's like an image, like a picture. I need to see that. I need to see that to make my decision for the whole thing composition. I need to see that further. That's why when I do the foot one, not very detailed beautifully, but for the whole composition, because I can see better. Yeah. I looked further. So that one even better, but there's no trick on that. For the small one or for the elaborate painting for the things, or for the very small, we say like the insect's head, that small size one, I want to do better. Use my foot and better than my hand, but frankly, honestly, of course, it's impossible. Yeah, because more trained, of course, on my hand, and more things I can control on my hand for small things. Right. But one thing that's true. So something like you say, the left hand and right, something in your mind you learned in your mind, yeah. So no matter hand, left hand or right hand, no matter hands or feet, right? Something the way to do, you learn something in your mind, and something, of course, the skills physically on your muscle, but something in mind. So you, when you learned on the hand, it's possible, to transfer to do some things, bigger things on foot with no problem. I just want to say that, yeah, something in mind, not just the muscle thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only thing I do left-handed is right.
Yeah.
I do everything else right-handed.
Right. That's why I think not just for muscle train the muscle. Yeah, something in mind, so you can overcome some things. Yeah. So like I do. Also, I can do like two hands together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Actually, that's the you can do that next time. I'll show you. This is just a 1 minute thing. One thing you can do, like the same way to do. you think of your or mirror thing, you can think only the hand you are writing, left hand or right hand, thinking of only one hand, and the other hand fall, kind of the followed. You think you put your two hands at as one like one hand to do that things. Yeah, not like in Tai Chi. In Tai Chi, the most thing is you always think like two ends, right? When you twist, like the twist, like the towel, like twist your the towel, right? Like two ends, right? Like two ends things. So the way in your mind, the two ends are just one thing together. Anyway, just want to you have fun of thinking of things when you learn these calligraphies. Some things you trained for your muscle, and some things you learned in your some skills actually in your mind. You learn some knowledge. Yeah. So no matter left hand or right hand, no matter hands or feet. Yeah, something in mind though. Okay,
Thank you.
class is over for today. I'll let you go. Thank you for
Question.
to the class, and happy
On the stroke you're doing right now.
Pardon me?
On the stroke you're doing right now, the sheet on your table. I don't know how to explain it, but on the bottom part, when you go from the second dot or the second, the press stroke, which is like a dot, and then you have kind of a lift. When does the next stroke really begin? Does it begin right under the dot or to the left of the vertical stroke?
Very, very good question. Very, very good question. That's why I said it's a different pressing, different pause, depends on your rhythm of writing, especially like a cursive style. Okay, for example, something in between, but mostly at the vertical started. Yeah. The other place is just the preparing connection stuff. Okay. So this is the real stroke, and this is quick, and this is some connection possible, right? Some connection, and I put the power almost start here, but this is clear one. But this one and this one, okay, I didn't put that much power, but can be shows connection and about here.
Oh, okay, good, good, yeah.
About here, yeah.
That's
some people's writing, I do this kind of kind of separated to the writing. I want to show you very clear. But some people do not very, very connected. You cannot really tell, but you can tell, yeah. But since you ask question, yes, from here, even yeah, but connect still, put more things here. Not even power, very strong start here. Not that kind. Kind of avoid, but connected, and kind of solid started here. Kind, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It really does. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. Very good question. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. See you next time.
Next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.